So Dr. Payal Kohli joins us live again to answer your questions about the coronavirus. I want to get straight to your questions. Hi, Doc.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. We want to ask you from Diana. Dr. Fauci says we need to prepare for another cycle in the fall. Will this second cycle be worse? What can we do to better prepare the second time around?
So great question, Diana, and I know it sounds super scary that it might come back, but trust me, if it does come back, we'll be much more prepared because now we know so much more about the virus. We understand how it spreads. We understand a lot of the biology and science of the condition. And the good news is that if it does come back, some of us will already have gotten the virus and recovered, so we'll be immune to it. That's a concept called herd immunity, so it actually makes the virus less likely to spread as quickly if it does come back. So this reminds me of that scene from Home Alone where Kevin says, when those guys come back, I'll be ready.
Look at Dr.
And I think it's very much
Kohli.
like that. We've seen it now. We know what we're dealing with, and we'll be ready.
All right. Well, speaking of being ready, Lindsay M. writes in and says, I saw a report about leaving our shoes outside because they could carry the virus. Can Dr. Kohli tell us the best way to wear our shoes around the house and outside?
Yeah, so the bottom of our shoes is a surface like any other surface that can pick up the virus, and we don't typically clean the bottoms of our shoes. So you have two options. One is to have your outside shoes and have your inside shoes
Cute.
or slippers. I like slippers. But the second option is to actually take a sanitizing wipe and just quickly wipe down the bottom of your shoe before you come inside. Because if you ended up stepping in, some spit or mucus or something else that could have the virus particles in it, you don't want to be bringing that all over your house.
I was hungry and now I'm no longer. Well, CR wants to know about information he's seeing on Facebook. Here's what he's seeing. Quote, we should gargle warm salt water, drink hot water and hot drinks, get a ton of sun exposure, and do not eat ice cream or anything cold. This is to help prevent you from getting the virus. Doc, how true is this? No.
Not true at all. There is no scientific evidence at all for really any of those behaviors. I mean, you'll feel better if you have a cold when you gargle because it soothes the throat, but it's not going to prevent you from catching the virus. I do recommend getting some sunlight just because that activates the vitamin D inside your body, and vitamin D is involved in immune function. But don't overdo it. Just the normal amount of sunlight, normal exercise.
That's great.
Okay, our next viewer wanted to remain anonymous, which is okay. I thought we were friends and family
Wow,
here. That's
safe
okay.
space.
They write, I keep hearing that it's okay to go outside and walk in your neighborhood or in the park. However, at the same time, we're hearing that the virus can live in the air upwards of 4 hours. So if somebody's jogging 20 feet in front of you, then you literally go through the same space 10 seconds later. Is it possible to transfer the virus? This is actually a question that I've had too, so I want to hear about this.
Yeah, I think about it too because I walk outside for exercise. So basically the virus was airborne or surviving in the air for 3 hours under very special circumstances where they actually nebulize the particles of the virus into the air. So this really only happens in medical situations like hospitals where they're doing breathing treatments for patients with the virus. We don't think it happens in the community very often. But having said that, your respiratory droplets, the little spit particles or cough or sneeze particles, can stay in the air for several minutes. So I tend to avoid running right behind somebody because their cloud of respiratory droplets can be sitting in the air for several minutes after. So try to change your path so that you're not running directly behind somebody, particularly if it's only a few feet behind them.
My husband and I call it social frogger because we walk our dogs, and if we see another dog walker, we have to social frogger our way around.
That's kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You could never, when you're walking, you see somebody at the top of the street, you're like, dang.
Yeah, I'm like, darn it.
Yeah, I got to walk in the middle of the street. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Now, before we go, we do want to leave you with some good news. In fact, we're going to start doing this every day. The doctor is on. We want to call it, make a sound after this, the doctor's silver lining.
Yes, Lord.
That was awful. But there's data coming out of New York that social distancing is working. So, Doc, tell us a little of the doctor's silver lining.
So I have two silver linings and thoughts to think about today. The first is, we're trying to avoid other people right now, not breathe their air. But remember, at the end of the day, we're all connected by our air. So let's not forget that once we get through this, we're still connected to each other through that air. So let's not let this time period affect how we interact with each other permanently. And the second silver lining is some new data that's come out of New York City. Governor Cuomo shared with us yesterday that social distancing is working. So we're seeing the first signs that it's actually slowing the spread. So the rate of doubling of the cases in New York has gone from doubling every 2 days to doubling every 4 days.
Oh, wow.
So now the rate is slowing down, and hopefully soon we can see them start to go down altogether. So I'm really excited to hear that because it motivated me that I'm doing something right and we're seeing the results now.
That's awesome. Also, Dr. Kohli and Al, I was going to say, someone put on Twitter, when you see emptiness, don't just see emptiness, see it as the whole world in solidarity. And I think that's a good way of seeing it.
All right.
It's a positive way.
that.
Which Trader Joe's bag did you read that on the side of?
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for the sarcasm. Oh, Dr. Kohli, you are the best. You do return tomorrow. Please keep writing in. If you have questions about the coronavirus you want answered by the doc, write into us. You can also email info@dailyblastlive.com or DM me on Instagram. I've been getting a ton of those. And if you want more information about the coronavirus, please go to cdc.gov or the World Health Organization's website. And like we always say, and as the doc tells us to, no panic, just prevention and precautions because it's working. Am I right? She's going to say yes.
It's working, guys.
All right. Thanks so much.